This is the latest news around the world. Top of the news. For our world news, Ukraine and Russia make some progress in talks, but still disagree on territorial claims. For our national news, MRT3 free ride program ready for 400,000 daily passengers. For our Philippine politics, PDP Laban, QC Wing formally endorses BBM for the presidential bid. Cagayan de Oro City news updates. We have below 30 active cases in the city. Weather news. Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ affecting southern Mindanao. Easterlies affecting the rest of the country. For our technology news. Not smart but clever, the return of dumb phones. And lastly, Holy Week and Ramadan updates. Here on the latest. Russia and Ukraine appear to have made progress on four issues in negotiations, but disputes remain over territorial claims. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey said in an interview released Friday. President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine has already indicated that he could give up his NATO membership bid. Mr. Erdogan told Turkish reporters on Thursday as he traveled back to Turkey after attending a NATO summit in Brussels. Mr. Zelensky said he was already ready to accept Russian as an official language, make certain concessions about the disarmament of Ukraine, and agree on collective security, Mr. Erdogan said without elaborating. He said Mr. Zelensky demonstrated smart leadership by saying that there should be a referendum on the future of Crimea, which Russia annexed in 2014, and the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine, parts of which have been controlled by Russia-backed separatists since then. Mr. Erdogan said he would soon speak to both leaders to discuss the NATO summit. The Metro Rail Transit Line 3, or MRT3, is ready to serve up to 400,000 passengers per day, more than double its current average ridership. In a Zoom briefing on Friday, MRT3 officer in charge, General Manager Michael Capati, said the MRT3 currently accommodates 248,000 to 260,000 passengers a day with an average fare collection of 2.7 million pesos. With the MRT3 set to offer free rides to all passengers from March 28 to April 30, he said the average number of passengers per day may increase to 300,000 to 400,000 per day, depending on the COVID-19 pandemic situation. To ensure that the MRT3 can accommodate as many passengers as possible during the first day of the free ride program, he said 2 4-car trains will be dispatched from MRT3s during the peak hours of 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. There will also be 18 3-car trains that will traverse the route between North Avenue, Quezon City, and Taft Avenue in Pasay City. Capati said the 4-car train setup is the future of MRT3, with plans to combine the old Czech CKD train cars with the newer Chinese Dalian trains, cars for 4-car operations. The remaining 39 are to undergo further testing. The free ride program. With the MRT3 expected to lose an average of 2.7 million in revenue per day of operation during the month-long free ride program, Capati said its operational expenses will be covered through its 7 billion budget under the General Appropriations Act of 2022. To avail of free rides, passengers must have a stored value beep card or a single trip card. The MRT3 will be available for free rides at all hours except on April 12 to 17 when it goes on annual Holy Week maintenance shutdown. The Partido ng Demokratikong Pilipino Lakas ng Bayan or PDP Laban faction under Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi has formally endorsed the presidential bid of former Senator Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. on Tuesday. During a press conference together with the other PDP Laban senatorial candidates, the QC-led party showed to the media a copy of Resolution Number 26 Series of 2022, expressing the group's support for a Marcos presidency. Marcos Jr. is running in tandem with presidential daughter, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte, which the Duterte-led political party has earlier endorsed. The younger Duterte is vying the vice presidential seat in the upcoming May 2022 elections. The resolution also stated that Marcos is the candidate whose platform is most aligned with the development program of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. The resolution also stated that Marcos is the candidate whose vision of governance is most aligned with PDP Laban's 11-point agenda. Cagayan de Oro City's active coronavirus disease COVID-19 cases were already below 30 as of March 24, 2022 after the City Health Office logged 29 active cases. Of the 29 active infections in the city, 17 were admitted to the Northern Mindanao Medical Center or NMMC and other hospitals in the city, and 12 were outpatients. According to City Health Office Medical Officer Dr. Teodoro Yu Jr., Cagayan de Oro recorded only 7 new cases, of which 4 were index cases. 2 were local authorized persons outside residence or APORs with linked, and 1 was an unvaccinated 45-year-old male person deprived of liberty or PDL. The index cases are unvaccinated 64-year-old female from Barangay Kanituan, a vaccinated 74-year-old female from Barangay 22, and a vaccinated 32-year-old female from Barangay Lapasan, and a vaccinated 18-year-old female from Barangay Agusan. The 2 APORs with link are a 34-year-old female from Barangay Carmen and a 26-year-old female from Barangay Ipunan. Both of them are vaccinated. Dumb phones are continuing to enjoy a revival. Google searches for them jumped by 89% between 2018 and 2021, according to a report by software firm SEMrush. These are basic handsets or feature phones with very limited functionality compared to let's say, an iPhone. You can typically only make and receive calls and SMS text messages. And if you're lucky, listen to radio and take very basic photos, but definitely not able to connect to the internet or apps. These devices are similar to some of the first handsets that people bought back in the late 1990s. And while sales figures are hard to come by, one report said that global purchases of dumb phones were due to hit 1 billion units last year, up to from 400 million in 2019. This compares to worldwide sales of 1.4 billion smartphones last year, following a 12.5% decline in 2020. Meanwhile, a 2021 study by accountancy group Deloitte said that 1 in 10 mobile phone users in the UK had a dumb phone. Do you need social media detox yet still can communicate with family and friends? Try to get one of these. For our weather forecast, weather conditions, for the places in Caraga, Soxargen, and Davao regions, you will be experiencing cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms caused by ITCZ, and the possible impacts would be flash floods or landslides due to moderate or at times heavy rains. For Metro Manila and the rest of the country, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms caused by easterlies, possible floods or landslides during severe thunderstorms. And for our forecast for wind and coastal water condition, in northern and central Luzon, light to moderate speed to east to southeast direction. And for the rest of the country, light to moderate from direction to east to northeast. There you have it for our weather news. For Holy Week updates. Holy Week for 2022 will begin on Sunday, April 10, and it will end on Saturday, April 16. Easter Sunday follows on Sunday, April 17. This year, Ramadan is expected to begin at sundown on Saturday, April 2nd, and it will end at sundown on Sunday, May 1st. The final evening of Ramadan consists of a celebration called Eid al-Fitr, when the traditional month-long fast is ended with a feast. The exact beginning and ending times of Ramadan are based on the sighting of the moon. Specifically, Ramadan is said to begin at the first observance of the new moon over Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Because of this, start and end dates are not set in stone and may vary by a day. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our news and updates for this week. Stay tuned for our next episode next week here at The Latest.